is we always warm up with the cables. It's more for me really, because I've got my pec injury. I've had it for a few years now. Something bad. A few years ago I was doing something too heavy when it was too cold. Got my pec strain, so I'm just super careful of it now. So I always do this for quite a while. Seems to work. Haven't injured it since. Probably injured it today now. I think we're about 5 weeks out now, and the diet has kicked me in the face really hard. So yesterday, I don't have a problem with it. It's just, you know, sometimes you just wake up one day and you're just like, oh my fucking God. And I was just saying to Ben this morning, what got me out of bed was eating a piss so bad that it got painful. So that's what got me out of bed this morning. But you know what? I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. And they always say, the worse you feel, the better you look. I feel like shit, so I must look good.
You can probably hear my voice, I'm pretty tired, which is fine, you know, it's to be expected at this point. But, you know, in all, it was a pretty good session. I mean, we warmed up with some cable flies, and I do that predominantly because I've got a sort of old niggle, like a pec injury, in my right pec tendon, so I like to make sure it's nice and warm. And yeah, just a few sets there.
That felt like fucking 100 kilo dumbbells.
No, I think they are.
I think they are.
If we edit it.
Can you edit that out to say 350 pounds, yeah?
And then we got into the bulk of the training, which I was actually surprised. I mean, as shitty as I feel, and as weak as I feel just walking around, I managed to get 3 work sets with the 80 kilo dumbbells. We put them on a very slight incline, just putting two 20 kilo plates under the head of the bench, and it gives it a less milder sort of angle than your traditional incline. It's also, I find you also a bit easier to kick the dumbbells back. Just trying to kick one back at a time on a 45-degree angle on a bench is a bit difficult, and you know, especially when I've got the pec injury, I want everything to be as stable as possible.
I got the 80s now. Apparently Josh Lenartowicz did 8 reps with these last week, which means I've got to beat him. So I'm going for 12.
Good maths.
Yeah, good maths, yeah. We're still beating him. I'm an overachiever. Doesn't matter how tired you feel, this shit will not lift itself.
I was happy. I mean, on my first work set, I ended up somehow getting 16 reps. The second I got 12, and then the third I think I got 8 or 9. So it's actually 16 reps of those dumbbells is a PB for me. And you know, when you're about just under 5 weeks out from a show, hitting PBs isn't usual. You know, it doesn't happen a lot, especially for me anyway. So.
I just doubled what Josh did. Sorry, mate. Tried his hardest, bless him. I've got Arnold Classic to win. It's a joke.
split hairs in your chest, and hopefully muscle. Next movement, we just moved on to some incline barbell. I'm not very strong with these, and they're not the most comfortable for me, but I am getting better at them. Seem to be getting better results over time with them. I feel, you can't ever have your upper chest too thick. And again, I use my own bar, the Texas Power Bar, my baby. She helped us out today, bless her. Thank you very much for Texas Power Bar, you absolute goddess. And we worked up to 3 plates, did this max set, I think got 10. And then the second set, we were going to rest pause, but obviously being inside 5 weeks, I'm finding the rest pauses are a little bit taxing on my joints now. There's slightly higher risk involved of hitting by the time you get to your third attempt and your rep range is extremely low. You sometimes only get 2 or 3 reps. It's not clever, and I need to minimise risk. So we just went in for a drop set, and I think on my first attempt, the first part of the drop set, I think I only got 3 reps or something, which is quite funny because the workout sort of hit me pretty hard in the face at this point. So I managed to get 10, and then with the same weight, the second set, which was about 2 minutes after, I only got 3 reps. So yeah, kicked my ass a little bit, but we got it done. 2 drops, take them all to failure. At this point in the session, I think my pump had come and gone. Getting a pump is a luxury at this point in a prep. So we moved on to some hammer strength press. I think we used the decline press, which I really like. It's one of the few hammer strength machines I like for the pressing machines anyway. I think we actually did 2 rest pause sets here, but going back to me saying the rest pauses aren't a good idea, at this point in this session when we're full of blood, everything's warm, and a third exercise in, you're going to be weaker. You're not going to be able to handle the poundage. So it's a machine. They're relatively safe. Position yourself in a way where it's not going to be so much stress on the joints or anything like that. And as I said, you're just thoroughly warm. And then we got three rest pause sets there. We wanted to aim for about 8 to 12 on the first attempt, and then take the other 2 sets again to failure. And then we just moved. Simply, we wanted to just, all the heavy pressing work had been done, so we just wanted to finish up. We went from machine flies into incline dumbbell fly. The main reason here is actually I quite like this. We hadn't really used any part of the session apart from our cable warm-ups. There was no part of this session that really put my pec in a shortened position. So we wanted to crank that part of the rep of that part of the movement or the range of motion. So we wanted to maximally shorten the chest pec muscles essentially and get as much contraction there as possible. And we went over and supersetted that with an incline fly, which is actually going to put most amount of tension in the opposite end of the range, which is the stretch position. So going up and contracting as hard as you can straight into a stretch movement, it does feel very nice. It opens you up, and you're obviously creating that tension across the entire range with a decent load. So after all the pressing, it was nice relax, nice to step back and take some stress off the elbows and a little bit off the shoulders as well. And let me just finish up with some triceps. I mean, we have an arm day where we just train just arms once a week, but I like to keep my arms full. You know, when you're on this pro stage, and I'm going to be up against people, Cedric, and I mean, Justin Compton's not doing it, but when there's people like Compton and all these guys, like Max Charles and Fuad, and all these guys who just are known for having huge arms, it's something I just want to keep some fullness in. So there's not much in the way of heavy training in the secondary sessions following our chest and back days. Because in our last session after back, we did some bicep work, and then today we did finish up some tricep work after the chest. It was just simple rope push downs, stress off the elbow, get some blood moving. We wanted to get a stretched sort of movement in, so we did the incline sort of cambered bar extension, or a skull crusher, depending on what you want to call it. And that puts the tricep, mainly the long head, in a nice stretched position, which is again something you really want to do. You almost find, when you're full of blood, it's always good to finish up with a movement where you're going to put that muscle in a stretched and lengthened position. So that feels really nice. And then I think the final one, we went for a sort of a modified muscle round actually, which was just a single arm cable extension over the other shoulder. And I just did 6 sets of 10 with no rest in between. And that was literally just to get a hard contraction, drive some blood in, keep it forward. I mean, I'm one of these guys, I really hate this whole, just get some blood in the muscle. It's just ridiculous. But in the off season, I have no time for that bullshit. But they're in prep now, I need to be a little bit smarter, and there's different goals, it's not all about hitting PBs. I did hit a PB, which was unintentional. The camera was there, so I had to play up for the camera, Ronnie Coleman style. Ain't nothing but a peanut.